All right, everyone, welcome back to TNT Digital Mindset. Today, we're cutting through the noise and zeroing in on the digital trends that actually matter. I've leveraged advanced AI to distill the latest research into clear, actionable insights, so we can focus on strategy, not fluff. Let's get started.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something we all know way too well, that feeling of failure. But what if I told you that feeling, that sting, was actually the secret ingredient to unlocking your focus and, believe it or not, your productivity? Let's get into the system that makes it happen.
So let's just dive right in with a question that, most of us probably wrestle with. This fear, it usually comes from a huge misunderstanding of what success really is.
Yeah, we kind of have this delusion, right? That success is this perfect straight line, and that people who win, well, they just never stumble. But the reality, it's the complete opposite. The most successful people on the planet have failed more than anybody. And why is that? It's because every single failure is a lesson, and they are simply learning way faster than everyone else.
Okay, let's make this a little more real. There's an amazing story from the legendary film producer Peter Guber that is going to completely change how you think about failing. It's not about trying to avoid it. It's about seeing it for what it is.
For him, this whole idea, this powerful conviction, it all clicked into place because of something he saw when he was just a kid, a single moment that basically shaped his entire career.
So picture this. He's watching his neighbor's father. The dad takes his son, who has a physical disability, puts him on a bike, gives him a huge shove, and just walks away. And of course, the boy crashes, he cries, he struggles. This happens again and again, day after day. Guber thought the father had to be the meanest man on earth.
And then one day, after weeks of this, after the shove, the boy wobbled. But then he started pedaling. He found his balance, and he just took off down the street. And when Guber looked up, he saw the father in an upstairs window, cheering, with tears of absolute pride just streaming down his face.
And that's when it hit him. The father wasn't being cruel at all. He was teaching his son maybe the most valuable lesson there is, that the struggle is part of the whole process. Failure isn't a dead end. It's just a speed bump you have to go over on the road to getting what you want.
So this isn't just some big philosophical idea. Reframing failure like this is absolutely crucial for how we get things done every single day. In fact, a lot of us feel like we're failing all the time for one simple reason. We're starting with the wrong question. You know the feeling, right? You make this monster to-do list, and at the end of the day, you just feel totally defeated because you never ever get it all done. We keep asking ourselves, what do I have to do today? And that just leads to this never-ending list that makes us feel stressed out and totally out of control.
And this right here, this just lays it all out so perfectly. Instead of focusing on just a random list of activities, we have to start focusing on results. The question isn't what to do. The real question is, what is the outcome I actually want? It's a simple switch, but it takes you from being reactive to being proactive.
So, okay, how do we actually do this? How do we turn this idea into a system we can use every day? Well, let's look at a really simple but incredibly powerful planning method called RPM. This is how you get serious clarity and power behind what you do. RPM. It stands for Results-Focused, Purpose-Driven, Massive Action Plan. And the whole thing is built on these 3 simple questions you ask in order. And trust me, they will completely change how you approach your day.
First things first, you have got to get crystal clear on your target. I'm not talking about make more money. I'm talking about generate 10 new qualified sales leads by Friday. You have to be specific because clarity is power. Your brain can't hit a target that it can't even see.
Second, and this is so important, you ask why. Why do you want it? This is your purpose. This is where you find that emotional fuel to get you over all those speed bumps we talked about. See, an outcome without a purpose is, well, it's pretty weak. But an outcome that's tied to a deep, compelling reason, that's what keeps you going when things get tough.
So it's only after you know the what and the why that you finally figure out the how. This is where you actually create your plan. And notice, this is the last step, not the first. That's a huge shift. Now, how do you actually execute this plan without just getting totally overwhelmed again? Because this is not about creating yet another giant to-do list. It's about finding leverage.
So what you do is you start by brainstorming every single thing you could possibly do to get that result. Just get it all out of your head and onto paper. But, and listen, this is the most important part, you don't stop there. You are not going to do all of it.
This is where the magic happens.
You pull out the old 80-20 principle. You look at that massive list you just made and you ask yourself, okay, which 20% of these actions are going to get me 80% of the result I want? This is all about finding those high leverage moves.
And those few critical tasks, that becomes your new focus. That is your action plan. It's short, it's powerful, and it means you can actually make real progress, even when your day goes completely sideways and gets chaotic.
Look, if you forget everything else from this explainer, please remember this. Before you start your day, before you even start a single task, just pause for a second and ask yourself the question on this slide. This one tiny habit is the absolute fastest way to go from just being busy to being truly effective.
So, I'll leave you with this thought. Think about one area in your life right now where you feel kind of stuck or overwhelmed. How could you apply this outcome-first, purpose-driven thinking to it, like today?
Hey, if you want more practical systems for better execution and focus just like this one, make sure you subscribe to TNT Digital Mindset. We break this kind of stuff down all the time.